I want to mention that George Zimmerman has sued NBC for defamation. The company strongly denies his allegations. Shellie Zimmerman is with us exclusively now, along with her attorney, Kelly Sims. We've reached out to George Zimmerman's representatives for a statement. They said they were not interested in commenting. Shellie and Kelly, good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
I want to start with, and I don't want to dwell on, but I want to start with that incident, this altercation between you and George Zimmerman just a few weeks ago. You said that he had his hand on a gun. He was threatening you. You said he was going to shoot you when you called 911, that he continually had his hand on that gun. As you know, police say they never confiscated a gun. They never even laid eyes on a gun. Do you stand by your story completely?
Absolutely. I absolutely stand by my story.
You saw a gun. You saw him place his hand on a gun. You had visual contact or confirmation that he had a gun and was threatening you with it.
I did not see a gun, but I know my husband. I saw him in a stance and a look in his eyes that I've never seen before. His shirt was halfway unbuttoned, and he was putting his hand in his shirt and saying, "Please step closer. Please step closer." And so I think that just logically, I assumed he had a gun on him.
You also said to that 911 operator, "I don't know what he's capable of." And those words struck me, Shellie.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's capable of. They're inflammatory words, considering your husband was just acquitted on murder charges. Were they used intentionally to raise questions, to raise doubts about not only his behavior during this altercation, but perhaps his behavior on the night that Trayvon Martin was shot?
No, they weren't intentional. I really don't know what he's capable of. This person that I'm married to, that I'm divorcing, I've kind of realized now that I don't know him, and I really don't know what he's capable of. I saw a look in his eyes that I've never seen before that day.
But if you don't know what he's capable of, you say he threatened you with a gun, you say he punched your father in the nose, why didn't you press charges?
In hindsight, I should have, and I really regret that. But I'm on probation, and the officers made it very clear that day that if I pressed charges, we were all going to go to jail, and I would have been the only one to stay there.
You mentioned you're on probation. I want to bring up two dynamics here. You're in a divorce. You're going through a divorce. My experience over the years tells me that when emotions run high, there are three stories. There's his story, her story, and the truth, which is somewhere in the middle. But you also pled guilty to perjury charges based on something you said during a bail hearing for George Zimmerman that was clearly untrue. You got caught in a lie. Do you have credibility issues as you sit here this morning?
I think I do have credibility issues, and I own that. And I'm a grown woman, and I made a mistake, and I own that. But the truth is the truth, and I want to always, forevermore, tell the truth, and that's why I'm here.
You stood by him through this entire trial. You cried when he was acquitted. I would imagine those were tears of joy.
They were.
And then a short time later, you filed for divorce. Are you telling me he's changed that dramatically since the trial? That's
Yes.
forced you to do that?
Yes, he has.
In what way?
He just kind of treated me like I was disposable.
You mean after standing by him?
Yes. After standing by him, he kind of left and I guess kind of went on a victory tour without me. And I thought that I was living a life with him and that we were going to kind of rebuild after all of this, and he had other plans for me.
Through all of this, with all you're now going through, I mean with the divorce and this altercation, has it changed your perspective at all on what he's told you happened the night that Trayvon Martin was shot and killed? Do you still believe the story that we have all heard from him?
I'm conflicted on that. I believe the evidence, but this revelation in my life has really helped me to take the blinders off and start to see things
Let
differently.
me make sure I understand. So you now doubt his innocence, at least the fact that he was acting in self-defense on the night that Trayvon Martin was killed?
I think anyone would doubt that innocence because I don't know the person that I've been married to.
That's a dramatic change. I mean, you didn't seem to doubt his innocence during the entire trial. You stood right there by his side. You went into hiding with him. You faced death threats with him. You lied under oath for him. And now you're saying you have doubts?
I have doubts. But I also believe the evidence.
One of the jurors in this case, I think it was juror B29, said George Zimmerman got away with murder, but you can't get away from God. In your opinion, did the justice system work here?
I think so. I respect the jury's decision. They saw more evidence than I've seen.
And can you look me in the eye and tell me that you don't believe your husband profiled Trayvon Martin?
Yes, he did not profile Trayvon Martin.
So had Trayvon Martin been white, you think the night would have ended in the same tragic fashion?
Yes, I do.
Where do you go from here, Shellie?
Just focusing on myself. You know, I've lost 40 pounds since the trial, really taking care of myself and moving forward with my life.
Have you been able to file papers for the divorce?
They're filed, but we have not served.
And do you know where he is?
No.
You don't. You have had no contact since that altercation?
No.
And we'll keep it that way?
Yes, we will.
Shellie, thanks.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time.
Thank
Kelly,
you.
thank you very much as well. Let's get a